The emergency alarm echoed through the command center of the Galactic Council station. Admiral Taemin Park stared at the tactical display, his face pale as the red dots representing human ships disappeared one by one. The Battle of Kepler Station was turning into a massacre. "Sir, we're losing contact with the entire Third Fleet," reported the communication officer, his voice shaking. 200 human vessels. They're all going dark." On the main screen, explosions bloomed like deadly flowers in the black of space. The Vorthak Empire's massive warships moved through the debris field like sharks through blood. Their reptilian hulls gleamed under the distant starlight as they hunted down the last human survivors. Admiral Park clenched his fists. The humans had been Earth's best hope against the alien coalition. For 3 years, they had held the Outer Rim territories, protecting the inner worlds from invasion. Now it seemed like it was all over. Signal from the human flagship called out another officer. It's Commander Hyejin Kim of the Soul's Pride. The transmission crackled with static and weapons fire. Commander Kim's face appeared on screen, her uniform torn and smoke filling the bridge behind her. "Admiral Park, this is our final transmission. The Third Fleet is destroyed. The enemy is advancing on Sol system. Prepare Earth's defenses for—" The screen went white as an explosion consumed the Soul's Pride. Then nothing but empty space and floating debris. In the Vorthak command ship, War Commander Vorthkar watched the human ships burn with satisfaction. His yellow eyes gleamed as he studied the tactical display. Every red dot that marked a human vessel had gone dark. "The human fleet is eliminated," reported his second-in-command. "Our losses are minimal. The path to their homeworld is clear." Vorthkar's forked tongue flicked out in pleasure. "Excellent. Signal the Nexari allies. Tell them the humans are broken. We move on Earth in 7 cycles." The crystalline Nexari ships floated nearby, their faceted hulls reflecting the light of distant explosions. They had allied with the Vorthak for one reason: to harvest human creativity for their own purposes. Humans were useful slaves, nothing more. But far from the battle, in a hidden base carved deep into the asteroid Series 7, Fleet Admiral Woo-Sung Lee watched the same tactical display with very different eyes. His weathered face showed no emotion as the dots representing his ships vanished from the screens. "Phase 1 complete," he said quietly to his staff. "All ships have successfully deployed stealth barriers and ejected debris pods. Crew evacuation to hidden positions is 98% complete." His aide, Captain Subin Choi, nodded grimly. "The enemy believes we're destroyed, sir. They're already moving toward the inner system." Admiral Lee had spent months planning this moment. The Phoenix Gambit was humanity's most desperate strategy: appear completely defeated to lure the overconfident aliens into a trap. Every destroyed ship had actually activated experimental stealth technology and launched fake debris while their crews escaped to concealed asteroid bases. "What about casualties?" Lee asked. "Minimal, sir. Commander Kim and her bridge crew made it to the escape pods just before the Soul's Pride's final explosion. The special effects team did excellent work. Even our own allies believe we're finished." Lee nodded. That was important. If the Galactic Council suspected the deception, word might leak to the enemy. Better that everyone believe humanity was truly broken. On Earth, the news spread like wildfire. President Da-Hai Park addressed the world from the emergency bunker beneath Seoul. Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed the strain of the past few hours. "My fellow humans," she began. "Today we received devastating news from the Outer Rim. Our Third Fleet has been destroyed defending Kepler Station. 200 ships and their brave crews are gone." Around the world, people gathered in streets and homes watching their leader with growing fear. Many wept openly. The Third Fleet had been their shield against the alien threat. "But we will not surrender," President Park continued. "We will fight for our world, our families, and our freedom. Earth's orbital defense platforms are being strengthened. Every human will do their part in the dark days ahead." What she didn't say was that the strengthening of Earth's defenses was actually the final phase of humanity's greatest deception. While the aliens thought they had won, human engineers were putting the finishing touches on weapons that would change everything. In the hidden lunar shipyards, Chief Engineer Daun Choi supervised the final construction of vessels that didn't appear on any official registry. These ships combined human innovation with alien technology captured in previous battles. The aliens' arrogance in letting human prisoners study their superior systems had been a terrible mistake. "How long until the fleet is ready?" asked Captain Min Ho Jung, who would command one of the new hybrid cruisers. 3 days, Da-un replied, wiping grease from her hands. The stealth systems are fully integrated. When we decloak, it'll be the last thing the aliens expect. Meanwhile, deep in enemy territory, Intelligence Officer So Young-han worked her way through captured Vorthak computer systems. Her team had spent months learning alien quantum encryption methods, and now they could read enemy communications as easily as their own. The intelligence she gathered was disturbing. The aliens didn't just want to defeat humanity. They planned to harvest Earth's population as slave labor. Humans were seen as useful tools for building the alien empire's expansion into new galaxies. They think we're weak because we care about each other, So Young muttered as she decoded another enemy message. They have no idea that caring is what makes us strong. Back on Series 7, Lieutenant Jaewon Kang coordinated with human settlements across the Outer Rim. To alien observers, these colonies appeared to be in complete chaos. Refugees fleeing in panic, defense systems shutting down, communications in disarray. But it was all carefully staged. Every refugee ship was actually positioning assets for the counterattack. Every abandoned station was being prepared as a weapons platform. The apparent chaos was perfect military, coordination disguised as defeat. The enemy has taken the bait, Jaewon reported to Admiral Lee. They're bypassing our abandoned positions and heading straight for Earth. They think we're too broken to pose any threat. Admiral Lee smiled for the first time in months. Perfect. Signal all hidden units. Begin Phase 2 preparation. When the aliens reach the asteroid belt, they're going to discover that reports of humanity's death have been greatly exaggerated. As the alien armada advanced toward Earth, confident in their victory, they had no idea they were flying into the most elaborate trap in galactic history. The destroyed Third Fleet waited in the shadows, ready to rise from the ashes like the mythical phoenix. The Vorthak and Nexari celebrated their easy victory, dividing up human territories and planning the enslavement of Earth's population. They believed they had crushed humanity's spirit along with their fleet. They were about to learn that underestimating human cunning, creativity, and courage was the worst mistake they could ever make. The real battle was yet to begin, and this time humanity would be fighting on their own terms. War Commander Vorthkar studied star charts of the Sol system, planning his final assault. He had no idea that every move he made was being watched by human eyes, every strategy analyzed by human minds that had turned apparent defeat into the foundation of ultimate victory. The deception was complete. Now came the hard part, proving that humanity's weakness was actually their greatest strength. Deep beneath the surface of Luna, the hidden shipyards hummed with activity. Chief Engineer Da-Yun Choi moved between the construction bays like a conductor leading an orchestra. Sparks flew from welding torches as human workers assembled ships that officially didn't exist. "Hand me that Vorthak shield generator," Da-Un called to her assistant. The irony wasn't lost on her. They were using alien technology to build weapons that would defeat the same aliens. Make sure the frequency harmonics are exactly right. One wrong setting and their own shields will tear our ships apart. Captain Min Ho-jang watched from the observation deck as his new command took shape. The hybrid cruiser looked like nothing anyone had ever seen before. Human engineering combined with alien science had created something entirely new. The hull used Nexari crystal technology to absorb and redirect energy, while Vorthak quantum drives gave it speed no human ship had ever achieved. Beautiful, isn't she? Da-Yun joined him at the observation window. We call her the Busan Thunder. She'll be the first ship to test our new weapon systems in combat. Minho nodded, studying the sleek lines of his future command. How many ships in the secret fleet? 50 completed, 20 more finishing in the next 2 days. It's not as many as the Third Fleet, but these ships are worth 10 regular vessels each. Da-Un's eyes gleamed with pride. The aliens taught us their technology when they captured our people. They thought they were being generous, showing us how superior their science was. They never imagined we'd turn it against them. 3 levels down, Intelligence Officer So Young-han worked in a room filled with captured alien computer equipment. Her team had spent months learning to read Vorthak quantum encryption and Nexari crystal data storage. Now they could access enemy communications networks without anyone knowing. Look at this, So Young called to her assistant, pointing at streams of data flowing across her screen. The aliens are planning something worse than we thought. They don't just want to conquer Earth. They want to turn our entire population into slave workers. The intelligence files painted a horrifying picture. The Vorthak Empire was expanding beyond their home galaxy, and they needed billions of workers to build new colonies. Humans were perfect for the job, intelligent enough to handle complex tasks but supposedly weak enough to control easily. They see us as tools, So Young continued, her voice hard with anger. Nothing more than biological machines to build their empire. Well, they're about to learn what happens when their tools fight back. Her team had already infiltrated the enemy's tactical networks. Every move the alien fleet made was being tracked and analyzed. When the counterattack began, humanity would know exactly where every enemy ship was located. Meanwhile, scattered across human space, Lieutenant Jaewon Kang coordinated the most complex deception in military history. To alien observers, human colonies looked like they were falling apart. Refugee ships fled in panic. Defense systems went offline and communication seemed to collapse into chaos. But it was all carefully planned. Every refugee convoy was actually positioning mobile weapons platforms. Every abandoned station was being converted into a hidden fortress. The aliens saw weakness and disorder. They had no idea they were looking at military precision disguised as defeat. Colony 7 reports successful evacuation, one of Jaewon's team announced. All civilians are safely in the underground shelters, and the defense platforms are ready for remote activation. Jaewon smiled grimly. Colony 7 appeared to be completely abandoned, but hidden beneath the surface were enough weapons to take out a Vorthak battle cruiser. Multiply that by 100 colonies, and the aliens were walking into a minefield. "What's the status on the communication network?" he asked. "Fully operational, sir. Every human settlement is connected through quantum-encrypted channels the aliens can't detect. When Admiral Lee gives the signal, every hidden position will activate simultaneously." On Earth itself, President Dae-Hai Park maintained the illusion of a world preparing for its final battle. She appeared on broadcast looking tired and desperate, rallying humanity for what seemed like a hopeless fight against impossible odds. "My fellow citizens," she said in her latest address, "the enemy approaches our home world. But we will not surrender. Every man, woman, and child will defend our planet to their last breath." What the aliens monitoring human communications didn't know was that Earth's desperate preparations were actually the final phase of the most ambitious military operation ever attempted. Orbital defense platforms were being equipped with hybrid weapons that combined human creativity with alien technology. Dr. Young-Ho Park led the science team, responsible for reverse engineering captured alien equipment. His laboratory beneath Geneva looked like something from a science fiction story. Vorthak computers connected to Nexari crystal arrays, with human interfaces controlling everything. The breakthrough came when we realized their technology isn't really superior to ours, Young-Ho explained to his team. "It's just different. They focus on raw power and efficiency. We focus on adaptability and innovation. When you combine both approaches," he gestured to a weapon prototype that looked like alien technology but functioned with human ingenuity. "This plasma cannon uses their power cores but our targeting systems. It's 3 times more accurate than anything in their fleet." Medical officer Yoo-Jin Song worked on a different kind of weapon entirely. Her team had studied captured alien physiology data to develop non-lethal frequency weapons that could disable enemy crews without killing them. "We're not monsters like them," Yoo-Jin explained to her research assistants. "We don't want to commit genocide. These sonic pulse generators will render Vorthak and Nexari unconscious for several hours, long enough to capture their ships intact." It was a typically human approach to warfare, even when fighting for survival. They tried to minimize unnecessary death. The aliens, who saw violence as the only solution to conflict, would never understand such thinking. Back in the asteroid belt, Fleet Admiral Woo-Sung Lee reviewed the final preparations with his senior staff. The destroyed Third Fleet was hidden in hollowed-out asteroids, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal themselves. "How are our people holding up?" Lee asked Captain Subin Choi. "Morale is excellent, sir. Everyone knows what's at stake. The crew rotation between hidden bases is working perfectly. No one's been in cramped quarters long enough to develop problems." Lee nodded. Keeping thousands of people hidden for weeks had been a logistical nightmare, but human determination had made it work. Every crew member understood they were humanity's secret weapon, and the stealth systems, performing beyond expectations. The aliens have passed within a few kilometers of our hidden positions without detecting anything. Chief Engineer Dayun's modifications to the Nexari cloaking technology are working perfectly. On the main display, they could see the alien armada advancing toward Earth. 500 massive warships, confident in their overwhelming superiority. War Commander. Fourth Car believed he was leading the final assault against a broken enemy. He had no idea he was flying into a trap years in the making. Signal from intelligence, reported the communications officer. Officer So Young Han has located the enemy command frequency. When we're ready to attack, we can disrupt their entire coordination network. Lee smiled. Everything was falling into place. The aliens thought they had won the war when they destroyed the Third Fleet. Instead, they had simply triggered humanity's transformation from a defensive force into something far more dangerous. Begin final phase preparation, Lee ordered. In 72 hours, the enemy will reach the asteroid belt. That's when they'll discover that humanity doesn't give up. We just get more creative. The Hidden Fleet began its final preparations. Human ingenuity, alien technology, and desperate courage were about to combine in ways the galaxy had never seen before. The real war was about to begin. War Commander Vorthkar stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion's Fang watching the tactical display with satisfaction. 500 warships of the greatest armada in galactic history moved through space in perfect formation. Behind them lay the debris of the human Third Fleet. Ahead lay Earth and final victory. Report, he commanded his tactical officer. All fleet groups maintaining formation, Commander. The Nexari crystal ships are providing sensor enhancement across all frequencies. No sign of human resistance in the outer system. Their defensive positions appear abandoned. Vorthkar's yellow eyes gleamed. The humans had broken completely after losing their fleet. Intelligence reports showed refugee ships fleeing in all directions, defense stations going offline, and complete communication breakdown across their territories. It was exactly what he had expected from such a weak species. Time to Earth? 67 standard hours at current speed, Commander. Shall we maintain formation or increase velocity? Maintain formation. I want the humans to see us coming. Let them feel fear before the end. Vorthakar's forked tongue flicked out in pleasure. Soon billions of humans would be working in Vorthak mining colonies, their creativity harnessed for the Empire's expansion. What he didn't know was that every move his fleet made was being watched by human eyes hidden throughout the asteroid belt. In a hollowed-out asteroid designated Hideout 7, Admiral Kyung-Soo Yoon monitored the alien advance through passive sensors that looked like space debris. They're maintaining predictable formation. Yoon reported to Fleet Admiral Lee through quantum-encrypted channels. Arrogance is making them careless. They're not even scanning for hidden threats. Lee's voice crackled through the secure communication link. Perfect. How are your ships holding up? All vessels ready for action. The stealth systems are working better than we hoped. Chief Engineer Dayun's modifications to the Nexari cloaking technology are keeping us completely invisible. In another hidden position, Captain Yoonji Lee commanded the stealth destroyer Incheon Ghost. Her ship was humanity's most advanced vessel, equipped with experimental technology that pushed the boundaries of physics. While the aliens celebrated their victory, she was about to give them a very unpleasant surprise. Take us in closer, she ordered her pilot. I want to download their complete tactical database. The Incheon Ghost moved like a shadow between the alien ships, invisible to their sensors. Human stealth technology had always been good, but combined with captured Nexari crystal arrays, it was practically magic. The aliens couldn't see them even when they were right next to their hulls. Initiating data tap on their command ship, reported the electronics officer. We're into their tactical network. Downloading fleet positions, weapon specifications, command protocols. Got it all, Captain. Excellent. Now let's see how they react to a ghost in their machine. Yoonji ordered her communications officer to send a brief signal through the alien network. Just 3 words in perfect Vorthak. Humans still here. Then the Incheon Ghost vanished back into the darkness before anyone could trace the source. On the Dominion's Fang, alarms suddenly blazed across the bridge. Vorthakar spun toward his communications officer, his scaled face showing confusion and anger. What was that signal? Where did it come from? Unknown, Commander. It appeared to originate from our own tactical network, but that's impossible. Our quantum encryption is unbreakable. Scan all ships. Find the source of that transmission. For the next hour, the entire alien fleet ran intensive sensor sweeps but found nothing. The signal had appeared and disappeared like a ghost. Some of Vorthkar's officers began to look nervous. It was probably a malfunction, the tactical officer suggested. Human technology is primitive. They couldn't possibly infiltrate our systems. But doubt had been planted. The humans were supposed to be broken, helpless, fleeing in terror. Ghosts didn't send messages through alien communication networks. Meanwhile, deep in the lunar shipyards, tactical specialist Namjoon Park analyzed the stolen alien data with growing excitement. The enemy's complete tactical database had revealed something extraordinary. Their greatest strength was also their greatest weakness. "Look at this command structure," he explained to his team, pointing at the holographic display. "Every ship is connected to every other ship through their quantum network. Perfect coordination, no confusion, no mistakes." "That sounds like an advantage," one of his assistants said. "It would be, except for one thing. They can't function independently. If you disrupt the network, the entire fleet becomes confused. Their perfect order becomes complete chaos." Namjoon had found the key to defeating an enemy that outnumbered humanity 10-1. The aliens' rigid military discipline, which made them so effective in normal combat, would destroy them if their command structure was attacked simultaneously across the entire fleet. "Signal Admiral Lee," Namjoon ordered. "I have the battle plan that will win this war." In the hidden medical facilities, Medical Officer Yujin Song put the finishing touches on humanity's secret weapon, sonic pulse generators designed specifically for alien physiology. Her team had studied captured Vorthak and Nixari biology to create non-lethal weapons that would disable enemy crews without killing them. "The frequency modulators are calibrated for both species," she reported to her assistants. "A 3-second pulse will render them unconscious for approximately 4 hours. Enough time to capture their ships intact." It was a typically human approach. Even when fighting for survival, they tried to minimize unnecessary death. The aliens, who saw violence as the only solution to problems, would never understand such thinking. "What about our own people?" asked one of the medical technicians. "Human physiology is different enough that the sonic pulses will only cause minor disorientation. Our crews will be able to function normally, while the alien crews are unconscious." Back in the asteroid belt, Lieutenant Colonel Ji-hoon Bae coordinated the final positioning of humanity's hidden assets. Every abandoned human settlement was actually a weapons platform waiting to be activated. Every refugee convoy was a mobile fortress ready for battle. "Colony 17 reports ready status," one of his communications officers announced. "All defensive systems are armed and targeted. On the alien approach vector. Mining, Station Delta ready for activation. Cargo, Convoy Echo in position and awaiting orders." Ji-hoon smiled as the reports came in. To alien sensors, human space looked empty and defenseless. In reality, it was the most elaborate trap in military history. Hundreds of hidden weapons platforms surrounded the alien fleet's path to Earth. "Signal all units," Ji-hoon ordered. "Operation Phoenix rises in 36 hours. Every position will activate simultaneously when Admiral Lee gives the word." On Earth, President Dahai Park continued her role in the deception, appearing on broadcast to rally humanity for what seemed like a hopeless final battle. Her performance was so convincing that even some humans believed they were truly defeated. "The enemy approaches our home," she said in her latest address, her voice carefully crafted to sound tired and desperate. "But we will fight to the end. Earth will never surrender." What the aliens monitoring human communications didn't know was that Earth's desperate preparations included orbital defense platforms equipped with hybrid weapons that combined human innovation with alien technology. The planet wasn't preparing for defeat. It was preparing for the greatest military victory in human history. In space, War Commander Vorthkar tried to shake off his growing unease. The mysterious signal had been followed by strange sensor readings, brief contacts that appeared and disappeared too quickly to identify. His intelligence officers insisted it was just space debris, but something felt wrong. "Commander," his sensor operator called out, "we're detecting unusual electromagnetic activity in the asteroid belt ahead." Define unusual. Brief energy spikes lasting only microseconds. They could be natural phenomena, but the pattern seems organized. Vorthkar stared at the tactical display. The asteroid belt lay directly between his fleet and Earth. It was the perfect place for an ambush, but intelligence insisted the humans were broken and helpless. "Increase long-range scanning," he ordered. "I want to know what's hiding in those rocks." But human stealth technology enhanced with alien improvements was too good. The sensors found nothing but empty space and floating rocks. The alien fleet continued its approach, unaware that hundreds of human ships waited in the darkness. The trap was set. In less than 2 days, the most overconfident alien armada in history would discover that humanity's apparent defeat had been the greatest deception ever attempted. The real battle was about to begin, and this time the humans would be fighting on their own terms. The asteroid belt looked empty and peaceful as the alien armada approached. War Commander Vorthkar studied the sensor readings from his flagship's bridge, seeing nothing but floating rocks and space debris. His fleet of 500 warships moved in perfect formation, confident in their overwhelming superiority. "All ships report ready for final approach to Earth," his tactical officer announced. "No sign of human resistance. The inner system appears completely defenseless." Vorthkar nodded, but something still bothered him. The mysterious signal from the previous day, the strange sensor readings, it all felt wrong somehow. But his intelligence officers insisted the humans were broken and helpless. "Maintain formation," he ordered. "We'll crush any remaining defense platforms around Earth and begin the harvest." What he didn't know was that hidden throughout the asteroid belt, hundreds of human eyes were watching his every move. In the concealed command center on Series 7, Fleet Admiral Wu Sung Lee watched the alien fleet approach the carefully prepared killing zone. "All units report ready, Admiral," Captain Subin Choi announced. "The Third Fleet is in position. Hidden weapons platforms are armed and targeted. Earth's orbital defenses are standing by." Lee nodded grimly. 3 years of preparation had led to this moment. Humanity's survival depended on the next few hours. "Signal all commands, Operation Phoenix is now active. Deploy on my mark." Across the solar system, communications specialist Guy Young Lim began broadcasting on all galactic frequencies. Every species in the galaxy would witness what happened next. "This is Terra Command to all galactic civilizations," she announced. "You are about to witness the defense of Earth. Let the galaxy see that humanity fights not for conquest, but for justice." The first surprise came when Captain Donghyun Bei's hybrid cruiser Busan Thunder decloaked directly in front of the alien vanguard. The ship materialized out of empty space like a metal ghost, its hull gleaming with unknown technology. "What is that?" Vorthkar demanded, staring at the tactical display in shock. "Where did it come from?" Before anyone could answer, the space around his fleet erupted with light as dozens of human ships appeared from nowhere. The destroyed Third Fleet rose from the darkness like phoenixes from ashes, their hulls marked with battle scars but their weapons very much alive. "Impossible," screamed the Vorthak tactical officer. "Our sensors showed nothing. How are they here?" Admiral Kyung-Soo Yoon's voice crackled across all frequencies as the human fleet revealed itself. "Greetings, War Commander Vorthkar. Reports of our death were greatly exaggerated." The alien commander's yellow eyes went wide with shock and rage. The human fleet wasn't just alive, it was bigger than before. Sleek new ships with unfamiliar designs moved alongside the familiar vessels of the Third Fleet. "All ships attack formation," Vorthkar roared. "Destroy them all!" But as the alien fleet tried to respond, pilot Heirin Oh led her fighter squadron in the first strike. Her small craft danced between the massive alien warships like leaves in a hurricane, too fast and agile for their weapons to track. "Fox Squadron engaging enemy capital ships," she reported calmly, as her fighters delivered precise strikes against alien command centers. Their targeting systems can't keep up with human pilots. The aliens had trained for battles against slow, predictable opponents. Human fighters moved with creativity and intuition that no computer could calculate or predict. Commander Jun Seo Kim coordinated the next phase of the attack from his mobile command ship. Across human space, refugee convoys suddenly revealed their true nature as weapons platforms powered up and joined the battle. Refugee Convoy 7 is actually Mobile Battle Platform 7, Jun Seo announced with satisfaction. "All hidden assets are now active and engaging the enemy." What looked like helpless civilian ships fleeing in panic were actually some of humanity's most powerful weapons. The aliens had ignored them completely, never imagining that human refugees might be soldiers in disguise. On the alien flagship, panic spread through the bridge as impossible things kept happening. Ships appeared from empty space, civilians turned into warriors, and space itself seemed to be fighting against them. "Commander, we're receiving multiple signals from our rear guard," the communications officer reported. "They're under attack by human forces that shouldn't exist." Lieutenant Colonel Ji-hoon Bei's hidden weapons platforms had activated simultaneously throughout the asteroid belt. Mining stations revealed themselves as fortresses, cargo containers became missile launchers, and abandoned colonies came alive with defensive fire. The alien fleet found itself surrounded by enemies that had been invisible moments before. Fourth Car's perfect formation began to break apart as his ships tried to respond to attacks from every direction. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Our intelligence said the humans were broken." Tactical specialist Namjoon Park's analysis of alien command structure proved devastatingly accurate. As human forces targeted enemy command ships simultaneously across the fleet, the aliens' rigid coordination system began to collapse. "Their quantum command network is fragmenting," reported Captain Yoon-ji Lee from the Incheon Ghost. "Individual ships are losing contact with their formation leaders. They're starting to fire on each other by mistake. The aliens' greatest strength, their perfect military discipline, became their greatest weakness when their command structure was disrupted. Ships that had never operated independently began making catastrophic errors." Medical Officer Yoo Jin-song's sonic pulse weapons proved equally effective. As human boarding parties captured alien vessels, the non-lethal frequency weapons rendered enemy crews unconscious without killing them. "Boarding successful on Alien Cruiser 7, reported Marine Commander Tae-young Kim. "Enemy crew unconscious but alive. Ship secured with minimal casualties on both sides." It was a typically human approach to warfare: defeat the enemy while preserving life whenever possible. The aliens, who had planned to enslave billions of humans, found themselves being treated with mercy they had never shown others. On Earth, President Dae-Hae Park watched the battle through orbital telescopes and felt a surge of pride. Her people weren't just fighting for survival, they were showing the galaxy what humanity truly represented. "Signal from Admiral Lee," announced her aide. "The alien fleet is in full retreat. We've captured over 100 enemy vessels intact." But the most important part of the battle wasn't the military victory. It was the message being broadcast across the galaxy. Communications specialist Ga-young Lim ensured that every civilization watched as humanity turned apparent defeat into impossible victory. "Let the galaxy see," she announced on all frequencies, "that Earth's children fight not for conquest or revenge, but for the right of all free peoples to determine their own destiny." War Commander Vorthkar stared at his tactical display in disbelief. Half his fleet was destroyed or captured, and human ships were pursuing his retreating forces with terrifying efficiency. How had an apparently defeated enemy become victorious so quickly? "Signal the Nexari allies," he ordered desperately. "Tell them to activate their crystal weapons. Destroy everything, human and Vorthak alike if necessary." But the Nexari crystal ships had already been neutralized by Captain Minho Jang's hybrid vessels. The combination of human innovation and alien technology had created ships that could turn the aliens' own weapons against them. "Nexari fleet neutralized," Jang reported calmly. "Their crystal cores are offline. Recommend immediate boarding operations to secure alien technology for study." As the battle raged through the asteroid belt, Admiral Lee coordinated the human response with the calm precision of someone who had planned for every possibility. The aliens had expected to face a broken enemy. Instead, they found themselves fighting the most innovative military force in the galaxy. "All human forces, this is Admiral Lee," he broadcast to his fleet. "Remember why we fight? We defend not just Earth, but the principle that might does not make right. Show them that humanity's strength comes not from our weapons, but from our unity and determination." The tide of battle had turned completely. The alien armada that had approached Earth in triumph was now fleeing in confusion and defeat. But more importantly, the galaxy was learning that humanity could not be broken by force. They could only be made stronger. The phoenix had risen from the ashes, and its wings cast shadows across the stars. The Galactic Council chambers had never seen anything like it. Representatives from 100 different species sat in stunned silence as the holographic display showed the impossible: humanity's destroyed fleet systematically defeating the most powerful armada in galactic history. Admiral Taman Park of the Galactic Council stood slowly, his face showing a mixture of amazement and shame. "Fleet Admiral Lee," he said formally. "On behalf of the Galactic Council, I offer our deepest apologies. We believed Earth was lost. We abandoned you when you needed us most." Fleet Admiral Wusung Lee's image appeared on the main communication screen, transmitted from his flagship in the asteroid belt. Behind him, the bridge showed signs of recent battle, but his expression was calm and dignified. "Admiral Park," Lee replied, "you believed what we wanted you to believe. The deception was necessary to save not just humanity, but to show the galaxy that there is another way to resolve conflicts." Around the council chambers, alien representatives whispered among themselves. The Vorthak Empire had seemed unstoppable. Their alliance with the Nexari had made them the dominant force in 3 star systems. Yet somehow the humans had not just defeated them, they had done it while showing mercy to their enemies. "How?" asked the Centauri delegate. "Our intelligence network showed your fleet destroyed your worlds defenseless. How did you hide an entire military force from the most advanced sensor networks in the galaxy?" Lee smiled slightly. "Because you were looking for human technology, and we were using alien improvements to our own systems. Chief Engineer Da-Un Choi can explain the technical details, but the simple answer is that we learned from our enemies and made their gifts into our weapons." On the captured Vorthak flagship Dominion's Fang, War Commander Vorthkar sat in the ship's detention area, still trying to understand how his perfect victory had become total defeat. The humans had treated him with respect despite his plans to enslave their entire species. Captain Heejin Kim, who the aliens thought had died in the Battle of Kepler Station, sat across from him with a translator device. Her uniform was clean and pressed, showing no signs of the desperate battle the aliens believed had killed her. "You staged your own death," Vorthkar said, his yellow eyes showing confusion. "Your entire fleet staged its destruction. Why go to such lengths?" Heejin looked at him calmly. "Because we needed you to show the galaxy who you really are. When you thought we were helpless, you revealed your true plans. To enslave billions of innocent people. The galaxy needed to see that. But you could have simply fought us directly. Your technology was superior." "Our technology wasn't superior," Heejin corrected. "It was just different. We combined your innovations with our own, but more importantly, we fought for something worth dying for. You fought for conquest and slavery. We fought for freedom and justice." In the lunar shipyards, Chief Engineer Da-Un Choi was already working with former enemies to develop new technologies. Captured Vorthak and Nexari engineers studied human innovations with growing amazement. "Your approach to energy distribution is completely different from ours," admitted Nexari engineer Crystallix, her crystalline face reflecting the lights of the workshop. "We focused on maximum efficiency. You focused on adaptability. When combined, we get systems that are both efficient and flexible," Da-Un finished. "That's what happens when different species share knowledge instead of trying to conquer each other." The joint research project was already producing remarkable results. Human creativity combined with alien precision was creating technologies that neither species could have developed alone. Commander Junseo Kim stood in the newly established Galactic Defense Command Center, watching as representatives from dozens of species volunteered to join humanity's new approach to galactic security. "The Altarian Republic wants to contribute their medical technology," reported his aide. "The Rigel Coalition is offering their industrial capacity. Even some Vorthak colonies are asking to join the alliance." Junseo nodded with satisfaction. The victory over the Vorthak Empire had shown the galaxy that there was an alternative to conquest and domination. Species that had been enemies for centuries were now working together. "What about the Vorthak homeworld?" he asked. "War Commander Vorthkar has agreed to present our terms to the Vorthak High Council: full surrender, dismantling of their slave colonies, and participation in the new galactic justice system." It was an unprecedented offer. Instead of destroying their enemies, humanity was offering them a chance to change and become part of something better. On Earth, President Dae-Hai Park addressed the world from the steps of the rebuilt United Nations building. Behind her, flags from every human nation flew alongside banners representing their new alien allies. "My fellow humans," she began, "today marks not just our victory but the beginning of a new era for our galaxy. We have proven that cooperation is stronger than conquest, that mercy is more powerful than cruelty." Around the world, celebrations erupted in every major city. But the mood wasn't triumphant, it was hopeful. Humanity had won more than a military victory. They had won the right to help shape the galaxy's future. We extend our hand in friendship to all species, President Park continued, including those who were our enemies. The Vorthak and Nexari peoples are not our enemies. Their leaders' policies were our enemies. Now we invite them to join us in building a galaxy where all species can thrive. In the medical facilities, Dr. Eugene Song worked with alien physicians to treat wounded from both sides of the conflict. Human medical technology combined with alien healing techniques was saving lives that would have been lost in previous wars. The sonic pulse weapons worked perfectly, she reported to her alien colleagues. Minimal permanent damage to enemy crews. Most will recover completely within a few days. It was a revolutionary approach to warfare, weapons designed to disable rather than kill, allowing enemies to survive and potentially become allies. Admiral Kyung-Soo Yoon met with his counterparts from the former Vorthak fleet in a conference room aboard the captured flagship. The alien officers sat stiffly, unsure how to respond to being treated as honored guests rather than prisoners. Your tactics were innovative, admitted Vorthak Fleet Commander Skarak. We never considered that deception could be a form of mercy. You made us reveal our true intentions before the galaxy. And now the galaxy knows the difference between us, Yoon replied. We could have destroyed your entire fleet, but instead we captured it. We could have executed your crews, but instead we're offering them medical treatment and the chance to go home. Why? Skarak asked. By your own codes, we are war criminals. We plan to enslave your entire species. Because we believe people can change, Yoon answered simply. Evil is a choice, not a nature. If you choose differently in the future, you can become part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Back in the Galactic Council chambers, Fleet Admiral Lee presented humanity's plan for the new galactic order. Instead of the old system of military alliances and conquered territories, he proposed something unprecedented, a truly cooperative galactic community. The Galactic Defense Initiative will protect all member species equally, Lee explained. No species will dominate others. No colonies will be enslaved. Justice will be based on law, not force. And if species refuse to join, asked the Andromedan representative, then they'll be left alone as long as they don't threaten others. We're not building an empire, we're building a community. Membership is voluntary. The proposal was radical. For thousands of years, galactic politics had been based on strength and conquest. Humanity was suggesting something entirely different: cooperation and mutual respect. Communications specialist Guy Young. Lim monitored responses from across the galaxy as news of humanity's victory and their mercy toward defeated enemies spread. The reaction was overwhelmingly positive. 17 species have already requested membership in the new alliance, she reported. Even some former Vorthak colonies are asking to join. They want protection from their own empire's revenge. The most surprising response came from the Nexari crystal colonies. Their ancient civilization had been dominated by the Vorthak for centuries, forced to provide technology for conquest. Now they saw a chance for freedom. The Nexari Council of Crystals formally requests protection under human law. Their message read, "We offer our knowledge in exchange for the right to govern ourselves peacefully." War Commander Vorthakar, now under house arrest in comfortable quarters, watched the galactic news feeds with growing amazement. Everything he had been taught about conquest and domination was being proven wrong. They're turning our own colonies against us, he said to Captain Heejin Kim during one of their daily conversations. No, she corrected. We're offering your colonies the choice to be free. Some will choose to stay with the Vorthak Empire. Others will choose something different. That's what freedom means, the right to choose. For the first time in his life, Vorthakar began to understand that there might be more to existence than simply dominating others. As the months passed, the new galactic order took shape. The destroyed Third Fleet became the core of the Galactic Defense Force, with volunteers from dozens of species serving alongside human crews.